Hello motivators, Timothy McCain here, and I want to share with you a book that completely changed my life. If you are an entrepreneur, if your heart is to be one, you need to read this book. This book called Soar totally changed my life. It's a book about entrepreneurship. It's a book about starting. It's a book about dreaming. It's a book about being an entrepreneur or starting a dream with little budget, little capital. And I'm telling you, this book literally shifted things in my life. I remember we were going through some difficult things in my family and my home. And I looked at my life and said, man, God, I thought I would be a lot further in this. And I realized something about myself. I realized that I was viewing opportunity and favor as a scratch-off ticket, as if something that as long as I'm faithful, and which is true, that something will happen just through faithfulness and being faithful with your job and being the best that you possibly can be. Now let me tell you, I believe all those things are necessary and should be the standard, not the goal, the standard we live every single day. You should be the hardest worker in your job. You should be showing up on time and doing everything, not leaving early, but doing things in excellence, and not it being your goal, it being your standard. And so for the longest time, I felt like that was simply the thing that was going to help me to get promotion and progress and advancing. But now I realize it's beyond that. Yes, like I said, that's a standard, not the goal. That's just the free space on bingo. It's to live life that way. But I realized something. If I'm going to reach my dreams, if I'm going to chase after my dreams, then I have to get rid of the shoulda, coulda, woulda mindset, this one day mindset, or when I have this mindset. But I need to learn how to use what I have to get to where I desire to get to. And my heart is to change the world. Literally, I want to change the world and I believe we can reach the world. We can change the world by our own world, which is our families and our lives. It starts with our homes. It starts around our dinner tables. And so I was watching actually on YouTube and an interview by T.D Jakes and Stephen Furtick popped up on my screen, or was recommended on my screen, and it was about T.D Jakes, Bishop T.D Jakes' book called Soar. And this book was written from all of his experience as a businessman. And so many people know Bishop T.D Jakes from about the Potter's House, which is amazing, but I love that. But what really interests me is that how he took what he learned there from the church, but also through all of his enterprises, his plays, his businesses, his endeavors. In his book, he's very transparent. He shares about his ups and downs, things he doesn't know about, things he learned. He talks about practical legal things such as LLCs and non-for-profits and corporations, and the differences and capital and all these different great things that he wrote it in a way that if you've never heard of these words before, it's a great place to start. This book literally, this book changed my life. So I remember I was sitting and I was like, man, I have all these aspirations, all these dreams. And again, like I said, I was treating favor like a scratch-off ticket. Now I realize favor isn't this mystical dust that is salt bait on your life. You know what I'm saying? But I believe favor is prepared for. And so yes, by doing these things in excellence, and like I said, not a goal, but your standard being your excellence, that you and thriving and planning and having goals and taking steps forward, then you can get to where you desire to get to. And so they wanted the precipice of this book, and then with big examples that he used there. I'm gonna see if it'll focus there. The example, where we go? I don't know. There we go. But the example that he uses from the Wright Brothers, I'm actually from North Carolina, so it's a cool story to me. And obviously I fly all the time, and you fly all the time, and we travel all the time, so we benefit from these people's dreams. But he talks about how these two brothers in Dayton, Ohio, started their dream for creating the airplane using used bicycle parts, and eventually realized that as they outgrew the place and the environment was conducive for their dream, they had to make a shift. So they checked around, called around, searched around, and found out that they had needed to move to Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, because the land was soft, the dirt was soft, and the gust of winds was strong enough to take them, and those was appropriate for them to chase after the dream. It's an absolutely incredible book. And but obviously we live from those benefits. So I remember being so stirred watching Pastor Stephen Furtick and Pastor and Bishop T.D. Jakes, and man, I was like, man, God. And so I immediately went to Walmart actually and picked up this book, and I read it, and so from there, like I said, it's super cool just to look back in life and said, man, you know what? I'm not just a talker. I'm no longer just talking about it. I'm not going to be 20 years from now, even a year from now, saying what I'm gonna do. But I think it's this what is great about this book, and great about when you have a mindset to say, I'm going to start with what I have. It's going to be great. And so one big thing for me is that I wanted to be able to reach families and reach people and start this dream about change the world. I have a whole list of plans and ideas and goals. Even this YouTube channel is part of it. TMMotivations. Please, as of right now, help me by commenting, and subscribing to this channel. And let's be an oasis of hope in a desert of hopelessness. All right. And so the book, I actually wrote a book called Crowns Are Greater Than Trophies. And I'll share a little bit about this book and maybe in another video in more detail, but for a little bit about it. This book is written from 3 kings, 3 generations of people who died and perished from the same things. They had behavior that they saw modeled before them, and that each generation, each king had an opportunity to change the behavior, thus to change the outcome, chose to stay the same. And every single time they was confronted with the opportunity to change, they beat their chest saying, you can't tell me what to do, and they perished. But all it would have taken was one person to say enough is enough, to draw a line in the sand and to change some things. Let me ask you, are there things in your family, things in your home that you wish that you will not pass down to your children or model to your children? You have an opportunity to change. I once heard someone say, man, I can't change the world. I'm only one person. I'm only one person. And I remember hearing that, and I was chewing on it forever, and it bothered me pretty bad. And I remember saying, maybe we can't change the world, but we can change our world. And you can change your world. And it happens around the altars of your dinner table. These 3 kings, 3 individuals who could have changed things, but chose, beat their chests and refused to. And I believe we see a lot of shift and change in our nation. If we have more people willing to listen, more people willing to have a conversation, and less people beating their chests saying, you can't tell me what to do. So we can find health, find healing. And so, family, I'm excited for the future that is being written, and that I feel like I have the pen in my hand, because I'm no longer simply just talking about what I'm gonna do, but I'm doing it. And so read this book. I was stirred up. I'm in college full-time. I travel full-time. I speak full-time. I'm here. I'm here full-time, and I'm a full-time daddy. I'm a full-time husband. You know what I'm saying? But I got to get rid of excuses. I had to throw the excuses out the window. And I encourage you to throw the excuses out the window as well. If there was any one book that anyone desiring to be an entrepreneur, regardless of it, I encourage you to read this book. This book called Soar. And it's just a new camera. Just picked it up. And there you go. I don't know how to work it yet, but like you said, we got to start with, this is my used bicycle parts. I'm not going to wait. I'm gonna get started, and I'm gonna grow as it grows. And I encourage you to do the same. If you are an entrepreneur, pick up this book. I list this book in Amazon, Bishop T.D. Jakes' book, as well as my book called Crowns Are Greater Than Trophies. If you want to check it out and read it, I believe it will change your life. So family, help me to allow this channel to be just that. As I said before, an oasis of hope in a desert of hopelessness. We can change the world, but we can change the world together. So let's do it, family.